Check 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. Ah, okay. Strange. Strange. Alrighty, so we're kicking off. Wow, this sucks. Okay. Check 1. Yeah, okay, fix it. Sweet, okay. So as Western Sydney gets out for lead jam.
No, they do not.
Oh, sorry, I'm not actually paying attention.
Let's start from Jam 2.
Yeah, Jam 2. Okay, Jam 2. Alrighty, so as the jammers line up for the next jam. Not skating foot traditional course, 5 seconds, and they're off. Blue Mountains jammer coming through side to side on that outside line. Got around up to miss. And that will be lead jam for Blue Mountains. Victoria hitter. Righty, Danny Darko gets out. That will be the following jammer, but Victoria Hitters already got the lead and they're looking to start their first little few points on the board here. Pixamatosis, they get through and they call the jam, holding the Western Sydney Rollers to 0 on the jam. Now you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Excellent. How are you, Candy?
I'm pretty good, thank you, Skittles.
It's good
As I welcome myself to the stream.
It's good to be here for the third or the second round of 5x5 in 2025.
This is the third scheduled round, the second the second happening round of 5v5 in 2025.
That's it.
First game, second half. Moon Crisis lead for Blue Mountains.
That's it. Okay, Blue Mountains got the lead. That's 4 points. They're looking back to the bench. Are they going to call? Are they going to go again? Waiting to the last minute to call the jam. They'll keep the Western Sydney Rollers scoreless on this one.
Yeah, with in excess of 100-point lead. They're not going to stretch it, just running down the clock, maximizing lead time, total percentage lead time, and controlling the game.
Alrighty. And with that, we have our next set of jammers, Rapidash for the Blue Mountains and Pixamatosis for Western Sydney. We don't often haven't seen Pixamatosis jam very much, but she finds her way through. That is lead jam for the Western Sydney Rollers. You can hear the cheer go up in the room. Western Sydney not getting many of these opportunities, so they'll want to make this one count. Rapidash there, looking on the outside, held up by Crunchy. Pixamatosis has gone to ground, as has Rapidash now. Both getting up a little bit tender there, I think.
So Pixamatosis, one of those all-rounders that can jam and block, so she does a wonderful job when she jams, but you lose a great blocker when you put her on as a jammer. So.
Well, sometimes you got to make the call, and they have made a call here.
Rapidash out as Pixamatosis picks up first 4 points for Western Sydney. See if they keep going or if they call it.
4 points. 4 points on the board, certainly nothing to... One. Okay, that's better. So something about my mic is super hot.
You have a hot mic?
I do have a very hot mic. What happens if I turn that off? It's still very hot. Why is that side hot?
Moon Crisis for Blue
Come
Mountains
back
with
down a little bit, yeah.
Dobie 1 Kenobi for Western Sydney.
All right, okay, so we're back. All right, another round with Victoria Hitter getting that lead jam. Coming around for their first scoring pass. Dobie 1 Kenobis. Change of direction, inside, outside. Where are they looking? They're stuck there on the inside line. On that inside corner of turn 2. Still looking for that opportunity to get through. Not able to make it work that time. Okay, another 4 points on the board for Victoria Hitter. Western Sydney looking for a star pass. Is there an opportunity there? Big hit. Western Sydney roller player on the ground. But the hit was clean, so all players will stay on the field, on the track for now. Another 4 points on the board for Victoria Hitter. Still got the helmet cover off, so looking potentially for that star pass, but they're not going to need it. They've got out. They've got one blocker to beat. That will be finally opportunity, and with that, the bench squad of the Blue Mountains put their hands up in the air. I think they're going to call this jam again. Just waiting for that moment.
As late as possible.
Call it as late as possible, and they do indeed, just as the Western Sydney jammer comes to the back of the pack, keeping Western Sydney to none on that jam.
Dobie puts up one finger, but the jam ref is adamant that it's 0.
You want to count every point, don't want to miss the opportunity, right?
Yeah, it's a good little dialogue that you can have. Just putting up, like, did I get 1 point?
1 point? None
1 point? No point.
Please, I'll take a point.
She won't haggle. This time it's Moon Crisis
Ah, all right.
versus Crotchy from Western Sydney.
Very nice. Oh, you've got a team list.
Yes, we do have a team
Hey,
list.
we love that. Alrighty. 5 seconds calls made. And we're back on. Alrighty. So, a couple of quick moves from Crotchy there. Just stuck in that sad place between. They got one knee down, but they're back up again. Blue Mountains blocker Moon Crisis is through as Crotchy is still looking for a gap. The Blue Mountains pack have broken up a little bit, creating that space for Crotchy to get through. They're going to try and track down Moon Crisis here, but do they have the legs for it? Moon Crisis coming around, looking for those points. The blocking team for Western Sydney, they're really isolated by the blockers. Great offense from the Blue Mountains squad there to really break up the pack. Make it easy for their blocker to get through as there's no defensive formation left for Western Sydney.
A little conversation by the refs afterwards. I'm not quite sure about what. But at the end of that conversation, Western Sydney skater was sent to the box.
Alrighty.
Okay, jam started and Western Sydney were not in place.
Not in place.
So the jam was immediately called off. I don't know if that will result in a
I think that will result in a
delay
penalty.
of game.
It will result in a penalty. That'll be a technical infringement. A technical procedural.
Delay of game penalty,
Ooh.
which goes to the captain. So I think that may have been what happened.
Yep.
But now, yeah, Western Sydney down 2 coming into this jam.
Alrighty. Really fast feet there for the Blue Mountains. That is 0-2 rapid dash. Pumping those legs to get through, get out of the pack. One blocker to beat. 2 blockers beaten. They're through. That'll be 4 full points as there's 2 blockers in the bin for Western Sydney. Come back around. Dobie Kenobi still looking for a back. There's no pack is called. Breaks up the pack. Dobie is through. But Rapidash has already got another 4 points on the board.
30 seconds into this jam, which means that Western Sydney are back to 4 players.
Dobie is looking pretty cooked there. I don't know if they've got the leg to do it. Little quick of a hop from Rapidash there. Very smooth play. Very smooth moves.
Takes the landing. Gets all the points. And it looks like the team timeout is closed. Indicated by Messi.
Alrighty.
Their hands and
So, we had the team timeout here. Timeout is 2.
So I'm assuming this is just mainly fatigue timeout.
Yeah, I can't quite see this angle where we're sitting.
There's not really a pathway back to victory, so just steadying yourself, resting,
Reset.
they're probably just talking about trying to do what they've done at training, trying to make sure they play
Remember
their
your
best
training.
game.
Remember your training.
Yep, I don't think anyone's looking at a 155-point turnaround at this point, but I'm happy to be wrong.
Sometimes we're just happy for Team Derby. You know, when you're a team and you're down by that many points, the goal changes, right? It's not necessarily, hey, we're gonna do the biggest comeback of the tournament. We're gonna just get the little wins.
It's one jam at a time. So Crotchy for Western Sydney. Facing Vic Hitter for Blue Mountains.
Yeah, Vic Hitters finds that way through. Crotchy still looking held up there by the pivot. And now got the full force of that 3 tripod blocking pack. Western Sydney there just not in a position to create a strong, solid defensive formation, which is making it easy for Victoria Hitter to get through and get those points.
Well, this is the thing. Sometimes it can look like you're not doing very well, say at defense, but the offense of the other team is just so effective. So
There's always 2 ways to watch a game. You can watch the jammers do the pretty moves. You can watch the blockers create the defensive or the offensive formations. There's always so much going on.
But you can come out of a game thinking we didn't play our game. We didn't stick to our game plan. But really, Blue Mountains isn't letting Western Sydney set up their walls. They're not letting them stick to their game plans because they're getting in there and disrupting them, which is well done.
I mean, well played, right? Alrighty, Western Sydney sets up that formation. Rapidash goes to the outside, changes through, and the pack has broken up. But Dobie Kenobi, lead jam for Western Sydney here. They'll be keen on that one. Rapidash has got through, so they're going to be charging up the back as well. So Dobie looking to get some points on the board. That's a couple of steps through. The call from the benches to call. You can hear that in the venue. 2 points on the board for Western Sydney. They'll be stoked with that. Every point is a win. And they kept the Blue Mountains to 0 on that jam. So looks like both teams playing the traditional hit and quit. Get in, get some points, get out. Sort of stuff we normally see, traditional roller derby here. Alrighty. That is Moon Crisis coming out lead jam here as the Western Sydney pack look to reform. Caustic Collision is out and there's cheering across the venue. Pretty stoked with that. Alrighty. Candy, just wondering, is it often the case that a Jammer v Jammer matchup is that impactful? My inclination is to think that actually Jammer versus blocking packs, opposing blocking packs, is more significant of where things are going.
Jammer v Jammer is very visible.
Yeah.
It's a very easy thing to track and to focus
As we're
on.
off for the next jam here. Alrighty, couple of spins and rolls for Dobi-Wan Kenobi, not able to make it work. They go to ground, and instead that'll be the lead to Victoria hitter. Dobi-Wan Kenobi there, quick change of direction. A great offense from the Western Sydney Rollers pack there to create the space.
Vic hitter in for the scoring pass, gets past a couple, calls it off as Dobi-Wan's approaching the pack. Holds Western Sydney scoreless, 2 points to Blue Mountains. Balance, isn't it? So Katniss Evermean lining up
Katniss
for
Evermean, that's a reference and a half, isn't it?
lining up for Sydney.
Alrighty, and we're off.
Blue Mountains at the front.
Is that Rapid Dash?
Dash.
One
more to beat.
blocker to beat, and they are through. Lead jam again to Rapidash. They have just been tireless in their efforts today. Katniss Evermean slowly but surely making their way through. They've got 2 blockers to beat. Rapidash, a little hop across the track hop there. Another 4 points on the board. Katniss still there, plugging away. Slowly but surely. Getting it. And then Katniss Evermean just still looking for the opportunity. Alrighty, so that full blocking pack from the Blue Mountains is now set up, so they're going to have a really hard time trying to find their way through there. It's a very strong formation and very hard to disrupt and get around. When you're a jammer, you've got to be very, very quick and not... Alright, there's a penalty that goes to the blocker. That is caustic collision. We'll take a penalty. Rapidash finds a way on the outside with that diminished Western Sydney Rollers pack. Another 4 points on the board for Rapidash. 12 points on the jam. And that will bring up the 200 points for the Blue Mountains. It's always nice to get the big round numbers. It feels good. Whether it's significant or not, that's for you to decide. Alrighty, Katniss Evermean still looking for an opportunity. They've got the hand on the helmet cover. Are they looking to maybe get a star pass here?
And the round numbers are sometimes a goal. You know, Western Sydney might be sitting there being like, can we get to 50?
Alrighty, and just as that happens, the jam runs out as Katniss Evermean gets through.
14 minutes left in the second half, so we're about 3/4 of the way through.
Yeah, the 2-minute jams will wind the clock down quite significantly, and they do have a habit of taking the legs out of you.
Moon Crisis versus Dobi-Wan Kenobi. Pack sets up at the front with Blue Mountains at the front. Crisis
big run up
crashes
there.
through past the last one to get lead for Blue Mountains.
That was just determination and speed and determination. It said, I'm coming through, get out of my way. And, well, they delivered indeed there. Moon, another one, a big hit, bounced on the inside by Crotchy. Great hit blocking from Crotchy there. And that is going to be a penalty there to Moon Crisis. Hit Crotchy in the wrong space, so that will be a back block. They've made contact to the Western Sydney Rollers blocker in the wrong position.
Speaking of 2-minute jams.
So this will be a 2-minute jam as the lead jammer has been sent to the penalty bin, and then now that means there is no lead jammer to call the jam. Meanwhile, Dobi-Wan Kenobi there looking for a way through. And wow, that 30 seconds goes so fast. I swear they just got to the penalty bin and they're back on track.
It's
Hey.
much slower when you're sitting there.
Oh, it feels it, I'm sure, but I swear
I've been
I watched them
told
just
I'm a
sit
good
down.
girl. I've never have I ever.
No, you've never had a penalty in your derby career, have you? You just give them out.
Oh, Moon Crisis with a massive jam around jammer block out, and this is really intelligent play.
Oh, that's just
Sucking
mean.
the jammer back.
That is just mean. They can go back as far as they like, and the Western Sydney Rollers jammer cannot enter the track in front of them. Normally,
Everyone just having a rest?
if you're a blocker, you have to stay within the region of where the pack is. But in this case, because they were the jammer, you can go back as far as you like. So, very cruel but very effective play there.
Timed it well, so both teams just got one more scoring pass, but it did stop the rot of that jam. As Western Sydney come past 30 points. Does that sound?
I just see sometimes I'm like, oh, I'll just reach my hand over. I can do some cuts. Alrighty, so we kick off to the next one. Alrighty, so Victoria hitter on the outside there. One blocker to beat. Can they stay in? The foot's on inbounds, keeping an eye on. Oh, yep. So they did go out. They came back on. Good track awareness there of who was already out of bounds. Lead jam to Victoria hitter. Danny Darko jamming here. Stuck behind one blocker, two blockers. One's dropped off, two's dropped off, and there's just generally spreading that Blue Mountains pack apart there. Head Raf looking for that. Are they looking for is the pack reformed correctly? But Danny Duck is not able to capitalise as the pack reforms. Got stuck out of bounds, so they will have to go back and have another go. Meanwhile, Victoria hitter, that's another 4 points on the board. That is 8 points for Victoria hitter on the jam. Okay, Danny Ducko is coming forward now. Onto the blockers there. Big hit from
Dover Payne.
Dover Payne. Yeah, well, that one did hurt. So, nicely done. Danny Darko's recycling all the way to the back there. I'm not sure that was entirely necessary, but there we go. Nice little star pass completed to Crotchy. Pumping the legs. They're out. Well played. That will definitely slow down this jam. Victoria hitter. Another lap. That is 16 points on the jam, and they call the jam as directed by their bench crew. Cheer goes out around the venue. For Crotchy, it was a really nice positional situation to complete that star pass.
That was a happy star pass.
That was a happy star pass.
There's nothing sadder than a sad star pass.
Probably not. Very few things sadder than a sad star pass.
So we got a timeout to Blue Mountains.
We have a team timeout here. Just taking that moment. Blue Mountains crew just having a chat.
So at the moment, it looks like we've got Rapidash lining up
So
for Blue Mountains.
you've got 10 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah.
What do you think? What goals are you setting yourself as a team if you're Blue Mountains from here?
Keep doing.
Keep doing what you're
Keep
doing.
Don't take it. It sounds mean, but don't take your foot off the throttle
Yep.
because, you
So
train the way you play. So if you play and get into the habit of like relaxing in the last 10 minutes.
So what do you
When
reckon?
it counts,
They're
you
gonna
could
look
relax
to-
in the last 10 minutes.
Are they looking to hold?
just
What's
keep
a
doing what
good
they're
score
doing.
here for for Blue Mountains? Hold Western Sydney to what? 40 points? They're on 30.
Blue Mountains will be trying, should be trying to get lead every time, as they have just done now. Rapidash gets lead for Blue Mountains. As Derby One Kenobi gets out on their initial pass, just as Rapidash comes in for the first scoring pass. Pass 1, 2. 2 more points to get. Calls it. Just in time to prevent Western Sydney. And that's what they'll be trying to do. They'll be trying to get lead, get some points, call it before the other team can get any points, just like they would try and do in training, and essentially just try and play a really disciplined game.
So what's the pass score here for Blue Mountains? 250?
It's not about that.
Well,
But yeah, let's...
250 for Blue Mountains. I think that's plausible. I think maybe they might be looking for. They could probably get to 260 actually.
Okay, Crotchy for Western Sydney. Versus Moon Crisis for Blue Mountains. Moon Crisis lead jam for Blue Mountains. Crotchy up the front, one to beat, but that one was Nova Pain. And then another one, let's say Waterfall. Through though, as Moon Crisis comes in for the first scoring pass. Hits the pack. Blue Mountains blockers come in to do offense as Moon Crisis comes through, gets past every single play, calls it off. 4 points, Blue Mountains, 0 points, Western Sydney.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is if we look at the game now, like
What is
we're
there to
not,
play
we're not
for?
expecting we're not expecting an enormous comeback here. So what's the bar? Western Sydney probably, I'm thinking like if they get to 40 points, they'd be stoked with that.
So I guess what I'm saying is that now if Western Sydney were to put on 40 points
Victoria hit
in the next 5 minutes, Blue Mountains would probably look at that and be like, that wasn't great.
yeah.
So they just need to keep playing good derby, solid derby.
It's
and
Dobie
not-
one, Kenobi is out. Victoria Hitter comes to the back of the pack. And that defensive formation just fell apart with the blocking work of Roxy Toxin there for the Blue Mountains team there on the inside, just putting herself in the right place to make the space for the jammer to come through.
Yeah, well, if you looked at that tripod right at the end, the butts weren't together. There wasn't a seam. So that meant that the jammer could just come straight up and challenge that seam.
Yeah. So wide seams mean that there's a really easy opportunity to either get yourself into that seam and drive the gap. Otherwise, the players are risking a multi, right?
Yeah. Once
Multiplayer penalty.
once you're in against that brace, they've got to release or do a multi. You don't have that strength. It's not what the tripod's designed to do. So the officials conferring in the middle. There has not been an official review called, so they're just discussing something. Probably whether or not to expel me for crimes against fashion.
That's okay. We don't have a caster cam today, so we can't see what crimes you have committed, and they shall remain nameless.
Yeah, excellent.
And of course, those crimes don't count when you're Team Zebra, right? It's part of the rules. Six minutes left in the game here. Western Sydney's used all of their timeouts.
Roxy Tosin jamming for Blue Mountains. I don't know if we've seen that before.
There's a lead jam for Moon Crisis though. Nicely done again.
No.
Western Sydney, oh, hang on, we've got a penalty.
Yeah, Blue Jammer, forearms.
And we've also got a track cut for Dobie One Kenobi. So So we've got a double jam penalty here, so this is going to be really quick.
It's also going to be 2 minutes of happy fun time.
2 minutes of happy fun time will now commence.
Roxy Tosin gets out first for Blue Mountains.
And by 2 minutes happy fun time, we mean a 2-minute jam. So no rest or recuperation here. So we're going to go the full length, and well, that's where the burn kicks in for the legs.
Moon Crisis is demonstrating that she can block just as well as she can jam.
All of those blockers, they're jammed up on the inside there for Moon Crisis, trying to drive their way through. The tripod formation has broken apart, and they have got through the seam. So one more blocker to beat, and they will be out to looking for the inside or the outside, just changing up the direction. Can they get through? And the blocker has to disengage to maintain the pack. So that gives Moon Crisis a free pass, but they certainly earned it by driving that space away.
The jammer of this jam is not Moon Crisis.
Oh, I can't read. Sorry. You're right. The jammer is Rainbow Riot.
Oh,
I'm so sorry, Rainbow.
I've also been saying it's Roxy Tosin. We've both been wrong. It's Rainbow Riot.
Please forgive us. Can't read my own scoreboard.
We're not set up in the best place to actually be able to see the names of the jammers before the jam. So we're relying on the scoreboard. And the scoreboard is also not set up in the best place to see the names of the jammers.
Look, I'll just say we're not set up in the best place.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's probably on me.
Yeah. Okay, we do have Crutchy for Western Sydney.
Alrighty. Nicely done. Oh, and there's a scramble on. Victoria Hitter was out first, lead jam. Crotchy's right on their tail here, so are we going to get some jammer v jammer here as they come back around? No, Victoria Hitter's put the speed on. Crotchy's not able to keep up, so... But the pack is moving too, so it's created the space. Crotchy's not able to get there in time as Victoria Hitter calls the jam. How many points did they get? 2 points.
But
2
2-0.
points. Hey, look, they'll take it.
So, and this is what you're saying with benchmarks, and you're like, this score, that score. The score that they want, probably more than how many points Blue Mountains pick up at this point, is Western Sydney to still be at 31 points at the end of this game.
Yeah, okay, so there's a defense, but there's like
They're
a
playing
defensive
very
goal, and
defensively.
there's an offensive goal, right?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
And we have Optimus Prime jamming for Western Sydney. I love this.
Just
Pushes
rushing
the
in
entire
there.
Blue Mountains pack.
Rapid Dash
gets
is
out.
through. Lead jam again. Optimus Prime is also out. So getting those legs going. Rapid Dash, plenty of space without that formation set up for Western Sydney, so they can just snake through slalom style. Get that 3-4 points on the board.
And this brings us to what Western Sydney is trying to get out of this game. And I wouldn't be surprised if they are having fun, giving everyone a go, mixing it up, giving some other people a chance. At
The goal is
different positions.
the goal is Derby experience from here, right?
Yeah, and particularly some of these New England players don't have. As Moon Crisis is out for lead for Blue Mountains. Yeah,
So
some of
you-
these New England players don't get many options.
Oh, sorry, you've got players from New England or Western Sydney?
So Western Sydney and New England, which is Armidale, Tamworth.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Work it together here.
Yeah.
Blue Mountains call the jam. They bring up the 250.
Yeah. And of course, particularly, we didn't know if the New England players were going to be able to get down through the floods early this week. So we're just very happy. Just very happy to see them. Very happy for them to be having a skate, to be honest.
Yeah, look, sometimes just getting here is the achievement, right? And for all of you, you are affected by the floods.
Sometimes getting out of bed.
Our other skater friends up there in the Northern Rivers having a hard time. Well, maybe we hope that you can tune in and enjoy a little bit of this despite the circumstances. Alrighty, Victoria hit her out. Lead jam here for the Blue Mountains. Costa Collision jamming for Western Sydney. Okay, Costa Collision there. Blue Mountains pack's broken up there. An opportunity to get through the seam. A couple of nice spins actually down the inside line there. It was a good footwork to get through there. But of course the work from the bench crew and the awareness of the Blue Mountains jammer means that they will not get any points on the board here for Western Sydney. So coming around for the next jam with, oh hang on, that will be the end of the game. So Western Sydney snuck another point there at the very end. 32 points to Western Sydney, 257 for the Blue Mountains. Boy, the time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, look, that was a really enjoyable game. I think both teams had fun. I think they enjoyed it, and that's the main thing. Like that's very much what 5v5 is about. It's development, learning, and yeah, good game.
Alrighty, well, thank you. My name's been Titty Skittles.
I'm Candy Bumps.
And we will catch you another time for another game.
Okay.
Take care.